The job of API developers is not simple. They need to address a lot of different problems when building an API. These problems can be related to security, architecture, monetizing the API, and more. Fortunately, this is where RapidAPI comes into the picture. Let's talk about 10 ways RapidAPI makes API developers' lives easier than before. Number 1. One-stop shop for APIs. To find an API on the internet, you would first search for it on the search engine. Let's say I have to find something related to location, so I'm typing location APIs. Then the search engine will provide website links. You open each website and see if the API fits the bill. Finally, you choose an API and start using it. With RapidAPI, you can avoid all of this, and finding APIs is more easier. RapidAPI Hub is the world's largest API hub where you can find thousands of APIs. If you don't have an account, you would first need to sign up on the website. As you can see, I've already signed up on the top right corner of the page. Afterward, a unique API key will be generated for you. With this API key, you will have access to all the APIs and can also publish your APIs and monetize them to earn a passive income. Here at RapidAPI, all the APIs are listed in different categories. These categories are given by the API provider. As you can see on the left-hand side, all the data-related APIs are in the data category, sports-related APIs in the sports category, finance in finance, and so on. It also provides a search feature where you can search for the API you need. Let's say I have to search something related to travel, so I'm typing travel and I'll be directed to all the travel-related APIs. Moving my cursor on one of the APIs, I'm getting an idea about its popularity, its latency, and service level. These metrics help you filter APIs according to your need. RapidAPI also provides auto-generated code snippets to call APIs. For that, you need to click one of the APIs. Let's talk more about this. RapidAPI Hub can generate code snippets to call your subscribed API in 19 different programming languages. On top of this, it can also create code snippets in 42 different packages of these 19 languages. These snippets are available on the API page. You can select the language and the package from this drop-down menu. I'm just selecting JavaScript and Axios. Once selected, the RapidAPI Hub will automatically generate the snippet. You can click this copy code button right here and the code will be copied to the clipboard and you can integrate it in your application. Number 3, API testing. Here at RapidAPI Hub, you can even test the API to see if it's working properly according to your needs. For that, you need to click this subscribe to test button right here and you'll be directed to the pricing page. I'm going to select a free plan at the moment and then I'm going back to the endpoints page. After going back to the endpoints page, I'm going to provide a few necessary details and then going to click this test endpoint button right here and then I'll be directed to the results. The 200 status code is showing that my API is working properly and I can now integrate it in my application. Number 4, freemium model to try before purchase. RapidAPI Hub lets you offer freemium plans to your API users. They can subscribe to your API and use it for free for a specific limit. Here in the pricing section, I'm getting a basic plan, a pro plan, ultra and mega plan, and I can subscribe to any plan. You can set the hard or soft limits in the freemium model. The first one will let the user subscribe to the API and use it until the limit has not been met. Afterward, they will have to buy a premium plan. In comparison, the soft limit will automatically start charging the user after the limit has been met. The freemium model is similar to the trial period you get after downloading a software. The good part is that it does not expire after a few days in the case of a software. For instance, if the hard limit is around 100 every month and you know that your API calls will not exceed it, you can use the API for free. Number 5, subscribe user list to keep track of your user base. RapidAPI provides a list of people who are subscribed to your API. For that, you need to click this My APIs right here and you will be directed to the provider dashboard. Here, as you can see, I have already added an API by the name Greet, and you can also look at different information about your API on the sidebar menu. I'm going to click this users from the sidebar menu and I'll be directed to this users page. Your API can have more than one version. You can filter your users based on the API version they have subscribed to using the RapidAPI provider. You can also filter your users based on the pricing plan. Like after clicking this users on free plan, I'm getting an idea about all the users who have subscribed to this API's free plan. And I can also look up to the total number of users who call my API frequently, or the total number of users who are subscribed to this API. The sixth feature RapidAPI provides the developers with is API alerts to prevent catastrophe. For that, you need to go back to the API provider dashboard, and here on the sidebar menu, click Alerts. You can set custom alerts for your API inside RapidAPI provider. These alerts will notify you immediately once a particular alert metric crosses a threshold. You can set up the custom alert by clicking Add New Alert and then writing the name of the alert as, let's say I'm typing Response Alert. After giving the alert a name, I'm going to type a description as, if the data received exceeds the condition set, you will be alerted. Then I'm changing the status from disabled to enable. Then I'm going to define a metric, set a condition, add the threshold, and set the measurement interval. Let's say I'm selecting total response size, setting the condition as greater than, threshold as around 500 kilobyte, measurement interval of around 5 minutes. And then I'm going to define the time interval between two alerts. Like, let's say I'm defining it as 2 minutes and clicking on the save button, and I'm done. Number 7, API analytics to monitor usage. RapidAPI provider lets you monitor your API and plots a graph to visualize its consumption. For that, you need to go back to your provider dashboard, and here you have to click this analytics from the sidebar menu. It provides all sorts of information like the total number of API calls, average error rate, average latency, etc. You can also filter all of this analytical data based on different endpoints. The RapidAPI provider API Analytics also logs all the API calls your user makes. This helps you address the edge cases and introduce bug fixes when the API call fails. Thus, it helps you improve your API. Apart from providing the developers with a number of APIs, RapidAPI Hub also lets you add your own APIs. For that, you need to go back to your provider dashboard and click this Add API, New API button right here. Now here you're going to give your API a name. Let's say I'm going to give my API name as greetings. I'm going to write a short description here as, this API helps greet in different languages. Then I'm going to select a category to which my API belongs to. At the moment, I'm just selecting the other category. Then I'm going to specify the API and click Add API, and my API will be added. After adding the API, I'll be directed to this Describe the API page. Here, I have to give a short description, long description. I can even upload an image of the API and fill in a few necessary details, click Save, and then I'll be directed to Add a base URL section. Here in the Add base URL section, I'm going to click this Configure button, and then here I'm going to add the base URL of the API that I deployed. I'm going to hit the Save button, and it's done. After adding a base URL, I'll be directed to add some endpoints page. And since the API that I'm adding is a REST API, so I'm going to click this Create REST Endpoint. I'm going to enter the name of the endpoint as Learn. After writing the name of the endpoint, I'm going to type a description as that this endpoint will let you access all the learning resources related to the API, then hitting the Save button, and then I'm done. Number 9, publish your APIs on RapidAPI Hub. For that, you need to go click this Make Your API Public in the RapidAPI Provider dashboard, and you'll be directed to this section. Here I'm going to change the visibility from private to public, and then this dialog box is going to appear. I'm going to click Make API Public, and now my API is public. To view how my API looks on RapidAPI Hub, you need to scroll up and click this View in Hub button right here, and you'll be directed to your API on RapidAPI Hub. Here you can even test the endpoint or even copy the code to integrate it in your application. The 10th amazing feature RapidAPI provides the developers with is that it lets you monetize your APIs. For that, you need to go back to the RapidAPI provider dashboard and click the plans and pricing option right here, and you'll be directed to all the plans. You can edit the basic plan, add features the API is going to provide with the free version, or even add a pro, ultra, or mega plan. The API ecosystem is all about developers. RapidAPI strives to improve the developer experience by solving some of the most impeding problems they face with APIs. If this video was helpful, go ahead and sign up to Rapid API Hub for free.